You know, there are places on our planet that, well, they only really exist in memory now, or in myths. Entire countries just buzzing with life that have literally been wiped off our maps, swallowed whole by the sea. Today, we're going to take a journey to these lost worlds. We're peeling back the waves to find the ghosts of these drowned landscapes.
So where do you even start with something like this? Well, you have to start with the big one, right? The most famous lost world of them all. For thousands of years, one name has captured our imagination more than any other, promising a spectacular civilization lost to a sudden, terrible disaster.
I mean, the very idea of Atlantis, it's just so captivating. It's launched who knows how many books, movies, even actual expeditions. It's this incredible story of a society that was almost perfect, super advanced, incredibly rich, and then poof, wiped from existence in an instant. It's a powerful story, for sure, and one that has gripped us like pretty much no other.
But here's the crazy part. This whole epic legend, it all boils down to just one source, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. In his writings, he described this incredible naval power way out past the Pillars of Hercules that, well, eventually ticked off the gods and got sunk for its trouble.
So yeah, Plato gave us this incredible story. But, and this is the important part, that's probably all it ever was. A story. Today, archaeologists and historians pretty much all agree that Atlantis was Plato's own invention, a kind of thought experiment he created to make a point about politics and power. As cool as it is, not one shred of credible evidence for it has ever been found. But that doesn't mean there aren't real sunken worlds out there.
Oh no, the truth is actually far more incredible than any myth. We don't need Plato's story, because our own planet's history is filled with countless real lost lands. And to find them, we just have to rewind the clock to the end of the last great ice age.
Think about that number for a second. 120 meters. That's almost 400 feet. As these absolutely colossal glaciers from the Ice Age started to melt, they just dumped an unbelievable amount of water into the oceans. And this wasn't some gentle little rise. This was a world-changing event that, over a few thousand years, completely redrew the coastlines of every single continent on Earth.
And this map, man, it just shows you the insane result of all that water. On the left, you can see that Britain wasn't an island at all. Nope, it was connected right to mainland Europe by this huge, sprawling plain. And let's be clear, this wasn't just some skinny little land bridge. This was a massive territory, a whole world that is now completely gone, hidden under the North Sea.
And this lost world, it actually has a name. It's called Doggerland. For years, the only clues we had were these random bones and tools that fishing boats would accidentally dredge up. But to actually see it, to map it, that felt like science fiction. That is until technology gave us a totally new way to look.
So how did they do it? Well, the key, and you're going to love this, it came from a totally unexpected place, the oil and gas industry. They developed this technique called seismic mapping to find oil deep underground. Basically, you send sound waves down into the seabed, and then you measure the echoes that bounce back. With that, you can build a 3D picture of what's going on down there. Archaeologists had a light bulb moment. What if they could use that same tech, not to find oil, but to find a lost world?
And this is what that data looks like. It's literally like a geological time machine. Each one of those layers represents a different slice of time. By digitally cutting through it, scientists can just peel back thousands of years of mud and silt and reveal the actual ancient land surface underneath, the ghost of a landscape, perfectly preserved.
And by digging through that data, they found this. This wasn't just a river. This was a huge river system, a waterway almost as big as the Rhine is today that no human being had laid eyes on for 10,000 years. This was the first, absolutely breathtaking look at what Doggerland was really like. This was how we started mapping an entire lost country, about the size of Wales.
So this one discovery just completely shattered that old idea of some bleak, empty land bridge. The data painted a totally different picture. Doggerland was this rich, fertile heartland. It was full of rolling hills, forests, marshes. Basically, it was the perfect environment for the Mesolithic, or Middle Stone Age, hunter-gatherers who called this place home.
And we know for a fact people were there. Finds like this one, pulled up from the seabed, are the physical proof. This isn't just a rock, it's a tool. It's a flint blade set into a wooden handle, kept safe for millennia in that oxygen-free mud. This was held by a person. Someone who lived and hunted and maybe even raised a family in a world that we can now only visit through a computer screen.
Okay, so Doggerland is absolutely mind-blowing, right? But believe it or not, the story doesn't end there, not even close. This process of rediscovering our planet's submerged past is happening all over the world right now. And one of the most exciting new finds takes us from the chilly North Sea all the way down to the warm waters of the Aegean. So let's put all this on a timeline to really get a sense of the scale we're talking about. Way back, over 100,000 years ago, early humans were already using a land bridge in the Aegean. Much later, around 18,000 BC, the Ice Age peaked and sea levels were at their absolute lowest. Then, as things warmed up, Doggerland became this amazing place to live around 10,000 BC. But its time was running out. A monster tsunami hit it hard, and by about 5500 BC, the last connection was severed, and Britain became the island it is today. You see, it's this long, epic cycle of human history.
And get this isn't all ancient history we're digging up. The story is literally still being written right now. Just recently, archaeologists announced they'd found clear evidence of another one of these vital, now underwater migration routes. This one connected modern-day Turkey to the rest of Europe, and it's proof that the Ice Age still has so many secrets to give up.
And the evidence they're pulling up, it's just incredible. They found over 130 stone tools, including these really sophisticated ones made with what's called the levallois technique. Now, these aren't just sharp rocks. Making one requires real planning, real abstract thought. And what's really wild is that these tools are linked to both our species, Homo sapiens, and our ancient cousins, the Neanderthals. That tells us this route was a major highway for different kinds of ancient humans over an immense stretch of time.
I mean, listen to how the lead archaeologist, Dr. Gunnar Karahan, puts it. This wasn't just a place to cross. It was a vital land bridge, a crucial corridor that played a fundamental role in the story of how our most ancient ancestors spread out across Europe.
Okay, so we have Doggerland. We have this new route in the Aegean. What's the big deal? Why does this matter so much? Well, it matters because these discoveries are forcing us to completely redraw the map of the ancient world and to rethink our entire story.
And this is maybe the single most important thing to take away from all of this. We have to stop calling them land bridges. That word makes them sound like they were just hallways, places you pass through to get somewhere else. The evidence is screaming that they were destinations. They were homelands. They were rich, vibrant worlds where generations of people lived and thrived for thousands of years before the water came. A huge chunk of what we thought of as coastal prehistory was actually happening way out on these plains. And if you want to feel that connection, really feel it, look at this. On the edges of these old lost lands, in places like Britain's Severn Estuary, the ancient mud has preserved the actual footprints of the people who walked there. You can see the tracks of men, women, even children. It's just an incredibly powerful and emotional link, a literal footstep across 7,000 years connecting us directly to a family walking through a world that is now gone forever.
It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? You know, the story of Atlantis might be a myth, but the reality of our planet's drowned worlds is turning out to be so much more incredible. If we are just now beginning to map these places, and in doing so, we're rewriting the entire story of humanity, what else is out there? What other secrets are still waiting for us in the deep?